Hear all videos here, to base be the glory.
Who that what? Who that? Who that what? Who that what? Who that what? Who that? Who that what? Who that what? 28 what? Who that? Hold that what? Who that what? Free back what? Who that? Whoa.
Welcome back to Who That 242. I'm your host Timmy. Happy 2022. I've been gone for a month, but I figured you all had enough things going January. You didn't see my face. We always say on this other podcast that works out the pun can be comfortable whatever you call them. And today on Who That we have y'all's favorite Bahamian / in the States personality. I tongue, so I'll make sure I don't want to get dragged into the night. Olayemi.
Yes.
Olayemi.
Yes.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good.
I mean, see you back in town, gracious with your presence.
Very excited to be here. Very.
So I think I saw you last year. Mm-hmm. I basically follow anyone who has a Bahamian flag in their bio.
Yeah, same.
And you just wasn't like just a Bahamian the other day. Like you was like accent carrying on. You was just So I want to talk about firstly how you even get in the States. That's why I want to start this conversation. How you get over there?
Okay, so I went to boarding school in high school. First, I spent the first year in Florida, and I realized we got to be further away. Family can visit. Just too close.
You was running from something.
It defeats the purpose of being away. Like I'm like, Lord, there goes my family.
Half flight.
All right, might as well be in Nassau.
Yeah.
But then I went to boarding school in West Virginia for grade 11 and 12. Then I went to college in Ohio, and then I went to law school in New York, and now I'm in New York just permanently.
So law, why law? What about law was always calling?
So I always knew I was gonna be a lawyer. My Grammy actually told me when I was like 7. My Grammy's like, "Oh, you used to walk around the house with a checklist and da da da." Very, you know, Bahamians go, "Oh, you like to argue, you like to debate, so you can be a lawyer." So I think that was the original generic reason. Then by the time I got to college, because that was always the plan. I got to college, and I guess what happened was I studied a lot, like African American studies, all of this, like why I really decided I wanted to be a public defender. The first thing I realized was the law is something that it constantly interacts with you. It controls everything. Why they have a window in the room, whether or not you cross the street, all of that is determined by the law. But people like to treat the law like it's outside of society, like it's something they don't have to deal with. You know, when people be like, "Oh, let's not talk about politics. Let's not talk about law." How you figure? How do you figure? Like, it controls everything. So I always felt like, if the law is constantly interacting with me, I want to be interacting with it.
I've never heard a lawyer explain that before. That's really interesting. Like, first, like literally everything you do, like there's a law why I have to wear this over this.
Yes, there's always a reason. Like when I email my landlord, and it's like, oh, if I want to complain that the neighbors making noise, they ain't just that they making noise. Is that you in breach of my warrant of habitability? Like my peaceful covenant. Like I know what it is. Like because it's always something dictating it that way. So that's why that was the generic the evolved reason as to why I wanted to be a lawyer, and then specifically why I wanted to be a public defender was I was writing my thesis. My thesis is called "Colored Bodies Matter: The Relationship Between Our Bodies, Power, and Pain." And my thesis advisor called me a gap scholar, affectionately, but a gap scholar is someone who identifies problems in academia. Like they tell you this is fucked up, this is messed up, but they don't necessarily tell you. I can guess. Oh, thank God. But they tell you this is messed up, but they don't tell you how to fix it, right? This is but that's a valuable thing in academia. But at the time, the protests in Ferguson were happening, and I remember feeling like, you know what? In a criminal system, like we are disproportionately represented, Black people in the criminal system, like overwhelmingly. And we make up less than 5% of the legal profession. It didn't feel sufficient for me to just be a gap scholar. Someone that like, oh, in academia, that's what I do. Or worse, in my case, it's like, because I'm a Black lawyer, then that's some kind of win on a symbolic level. It doesn't do anything for us substantively. So from there, I was like, I got to be a public defender. I gotta be in court because I think it makes a difference. I think the whole criminal system is dehumanizing from start to finish. It's not just if you get convicted or if you get killed or something like that. It's from the jump, just being criminalized like that. So I think when people are represented by somebody that looks like them, and I'm going to humanize you, and I'm going to get you, and I'm going to tell you a story, and I'm going to tell you you're not a bad guy, and I'm going to understand, I think that makes like a real difference.
Name in the paper, and they have to just go deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that makes a difference. And it does. Like my clients generally really, really like me. And so that's why. That's the why.
And how long have you been a lawyer?
3 years.
3 years. So it's been relatively new. So you've been in this forever.
I've represented like 800 people.
Jesus.
So depends on how you think about it.
Do you find it hard to get on a personal level with each single one, or is it still coming easy to you?
Like to connect with them initially? Yeah. No, I'm a pretty I think that's one of my strengths as an attorney. I think there are a lot of ways I think a lot of people find the job challenging on a day-to-day basis that I don't. Just because me and the clients, like, that's the best part of the job. Like, people hate arraignments. I love arraignments. Like, I gotta go meet the client, talk to the client, chop it up. Like, we always, like, I'm very good at connecting on that level. I actually had a former supervisor that didn't like me say it negatively. She was like, "Oh, Olayemi's more social worker than lawyer because my clients." I'm like, "Well, my clients feel loved. Okay, they feel loved and they don't go to jail. So ask somebody about that." Like,
I would ask you if you could talk about just like your type of success rate, like what do you consider success? Like how do you feel like your work has been in the 3 years? How do you feel like you've made a difference? How has it been where I'm just like, I don't know if I can keep doing this because too much people go to jail. I want to know your general overview.
I think. Well, first of all, I think how you look at success, as a public defender changes on a day-to-day level because people will think. Let me give you a perfect example. You think of it like I got somebody out of jail and you think that feels really rewarding, but it really doesn't in the grand scheme of the picture because if I get my clients out of jail but they're homeless, you know what I mean? How good do I feel? If I get my clients out of jail but there's an order of protection that says they can't go back to their house, so now, or now they have an ACS problem, they have all these cases, they've lost their job, like so many collateral consequences happen that it's hard to really feel successful and rewarding in that way. But for me, it depends on where you put your value system. For me, I didn't come into the job thinking that we're doing God's work or no, we're cogs in the system. At the very most, we're harm reductionists. We are not God saviors by any means. And I don't look at the job like that. That's not what I'm thinking of. I look at the job like, how much am I able to stop a bad psychological impact of if you were represented by somebody else? You know what I mean? Or what you would go through in the system. Like, I recognize that a lot of the times, let me give you a perfect example. Public defenders are blamed for a lot of what happens in the system, which is mostly the judges, the law, the prosecutor, right? But that's because the person you interact most with is the public defender. That's the lawyer. That's the person that you're dealing with. And a lot of how you feel and you're going to come out feeling the system is going to be based on those interactions and what was able to be said, not said, done. So for me, if I could get you arraignments, by the time I meet you at arraignment, something fucked up has already happened to you, okay? You've already been arrested. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you're already in the throes of going through something and feeling a way about yourself or whatever. If I could get you right then and nip that in the bud and me figure out a different game plan and I can make you feel really, really supported, that for me is what matters. Like most of my clients, like when I get letters and stuff from my clients, it's usually how I made my clients feel. Because you could be the best lawyer, but if your client don't have faith in you, they're not gonna think so. Right. Like, you know what I mean? They just don't trust what you're saying. Like they don't believe it. If you tell them take this plea versus that, but they don't talk to you, they don't have a relationship with you, they don't trust you, they don't think you're a good lawyer. They're not saying that. So my clients, for me, is in making my client feel really, really supported. So that's what I find it rewarding. But also, though, I'm a good lawyer for my clients, and my clients, yeah, but just, and also I get to do a lot of that work outside of court because there are a lot of people's cases that I just bring light to, I put a lot of attention to and stuff, and things happen for them. Like I talked to Lakeith Smith. I regularly talk about his case. It was a 15-year-old that was sentenced. Was
the guy who was sentenced to death?
Sentenced on felony murder. When he was 15, him and his friend committed robbery, and the police shot and killed his friend, and then they charged him with felony murder and put him in jail for 75 years. Yeah, exactly. And that's a case that I talked about that went pretty viral, and his family themselves reached out like, thank you, we were able to get a lawyer and stuff like that. So I do a lot of, I think I'm able to make a lot of change in and outside of court.
When did you realize that, I thought you probably in the game, when did you realize that you could use, first of all, how you get so much followers? Like what was the, other than being, being men, beautiful, like type things, what was it that got you the amount of followers? Like when did you decide, I guess I'm using my platform to bring like...
I didn't decide. It actually happened pretty organically, legitimately. I think, I had never really been on, I'd used Twitter just to watch my live feed, my shows, Love and Hip Hop. I'm not on Twitter. But Cuomo was pissing me to fuck off, fucking with bail reform at the top of the pandemic, bitch. You fucking with my job. Yeah. And, making things harder. And my job kind of set it to us, tweeted, we could talk about, and I was like, yeah. You know what I mean? Let me say something. Mm-hmm. And then at the time, I'm a legal observer, so I go to the protests as the protests in New York City, all of the protests. I go there as an observer to make sure I didn't watch what the police are doing. So if they arrest people, help them with their cases, right? So that's what I'm there doing. So I was going to a lot of the protests, and I'm just somebody, you see, I speak. I pretty much just was doing what I'm doing, and it just happened. And then
people pick it up and such.
And then I think. As far as everything else, I had one of the first police brutality cases in New York City following George Floyd. After George Floyd was killed, they passed a Say Their Name reform bill package, which really just did a bunch of nothing because it's we're going to make it illegal to kneel on people's necks, which was already illegal since 1993. Yeah. But okay. So anyway, I had one of the first cases following that, Sir Carlisle Arnold, when that happened in January of 2021. So when that happened, I was doing a lot of media on that case, fighting that case. out in the media essentially, and I think they put me on something, and
Boom.
people, it just kept happening.
I saw you was a lot. I don't know, is it a particular show? But every time I always see you, like you was talking for like 5 minutes. Is that one particular show, or you always a bunch of them always talking?
Which one? I've been on a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, because every other week I see you just like it's like a 5 minute clip of you just giving your opinion. So
you thinking of the Hill or like what it look like?
So it's like a Zoom, like four squares.
White guys,
yeah,
white people around me.
Yeah,
that's the Hill.
Okay.
Like giving my opinion. No, shall they be around with me? I wish they just let me go get my little monologue and be like, let me be out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, that's the Hill. That happened recently. Actually, I was on the Bad Faith podcast, which is Brianna Joy Gray, Bernie Sanders' former press secretary, her podcast talking about Rittenhouse. All the right wing people on YouTube lost their fucking minds. Oh, the hell! Listen, I was like, they were in. That was the first time, like, I feel like I was really exposed to the right on a large scale. And child, they hate me. But I was like, and it was so funny because in my mind, to me, I'm cracking jokes.
Yeah,
like that's my whole the bad
thing. Getting off. Yeah.
I'm thinking I'm giving y'all. First of all, I'm dying, right? Like I'm like, first of all, let me just be clear. I don't even care. Like, I like nothing about what happened in Rittenhouse is surprising to me at all.
Yeah.
The reality is you go on things, this is what they've chose the topic. You're talking about. So it's like when these people are mad as hell, like I'm the like mayor of anti-Rittenhouse. I don't give a fuck about Kyle Rittenhouse. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a goddamn.
Yeah.
I'm sick of talking about him actually.
Yeah.
So at that point I'm getting my jokes off. I'm like, you want jokes?
Bars.
You want
bars.
this?
Yeah.
I'm like, you want this serious, boring ass?
You could be behind you, just bars.
I'm saying, so in my mind, I come in there expecting everybody in there to recognize my comedy style and my comedic genius, and they're like, fuck this bitch, she don't know nothing, she clearly wants to do. I'm like, oh my god, oh fuck. I was so shocked.
Body blows, like, what's this?
I was even shocked. I was out there like, God, they really hate my black ass. I was like, okay, wow. I was like, wow, I was like, whew. That's powerful. And then they hated my black ass right on to more shit. That's what happened. So then after that, I went on the Hill and I to talk about Rittenhouse. That was the first one y'all seen. And I've been on more. And I'm on the Long Crime Network usually like twice a week.
Okay. That's too. I saw
the
as
Long
well.
Crime, and I tend
so
to
what's
do the
that? Is that like
show a lot.
What's the point of Long Crime? Is it like
Long Crime Network follows trials. They follow like all the big trials, all the salacious trials around the country. So you watch the trials, and they have like different analysts come on.
You give your analyst. You got an analyst. Okay.
Excuse me. Yeah, I'm getting my jokes off also. But yeah, so I do that like twice a week. So I do a lot of that, and I do the Benjamin Dixon show a lot. They're in Atlanta. I love them.
Do you think of starting your own part, or you think you have no time for that?
I think of it. Listen, I want somebody to give me. I don't want somebody to just come to me and say, hey, here's the infrastructure. You know what I mean?
Just do it. Okay,
yeah, I want someone to come give me. I'm like, all you all know to come put me on there. Everybody's figured that out. Let's just go one step further. Come on, give me my own shit.
Yeah.
So I can choose the topics.
I speak it into existence.
Yes.
Come in. Someone can see this and be like, oh, she wants a part.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I want one. Give me one. I'm like, give me one. Let me choose the topics. Listen. That's gonna be the day when I get to.
So just give me one thing that you really want to talk about that you probably.
What I really want to talk about?
Yeah.
Oh no, Tiffany, you can't ask me that. My head is gonna be in the right. No, like
I'm
in vacation. I'm not even an intellectual right now.
You said
super
serious.
To talk about, and I go, this is ridiculous, like Drake baby mother.
So you think she's ugly? I don't think people say. I don't think she's ugly. You think she's ugly?
Well, her ass show is fat.
Yeah, I mean her face looks a little weird, but I don't think she's ugly.
Her ass is so fat. Like, I mean, listen, like, I think, you know what? I think she doesn't have the conventional, you know what I mean? Like, the nose, like people aren't usually into that or whatever, but I think it's in a quiet face. Yeah. You know what I mean? And again, if your ass fat enough, I mean, I don't like women and I know that ass is fat, so clearly it's
someone
doing
leave
something.
it in,
Yes, it's staying.
Such a guess. Me, like everybody else, probably grew up watching like Law and Order, and this is what has shaped the minds of how people think courthouse is. And I've always seen these topics about how like people like Dick Wolf and all these shows have made police seem so glorious. So talk to me about the comparison of what actually happens and what something like Law and Order and all those shows like
I mean, all those shows are full of shit. All of them. All of those shows are just absolutely full of shit. First of all, the average thing in the criminal system is just not salacious and exciting. Yeah. If I have 400 case files in my head and you was to go through them, it's regular stuff. Like, if I curse you out, right, and this is the kind of thing you get arrested for in the States right now to me. If I curse you right fucking out and be like, don't fucking play with me, ba ba ba, ta ta ta, da 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 da, you call the police? Girl, aggravated harassment, menacing in the third degree.
I agree. Aggravated harassment.
Listen to me. I promise. Listen to me. Listen to me. If we Bahamians, every Bahamian would be locked the fuck up. Listen to me. When I first I call my mommy like my first arraignment ship, has you been fucking jailed? I think jail. I used to call my mommy after every arraignment shift just to tell her she'd be in jail. Like one time I represented this woman. They arrested her, charged her with menacing in the third degree and aggravated harassment in the third degree. You know for why? While she was in labor, some chick or whatever was texting her like trying to fight. She was a girl, something essentially the American equivalent of girl, don't fucking play with me. Yeah. They gonna arrest this woman.
While
just had a baby. Just had a baby. Bring it. And I was like, at that moment, you don't understand. It had never occurred to me. You could get locked up for cursing people. Think about that. That's a crazy place to live.
Because we cursing
like, people out. The time? Are you serious? Like, cursing.
I saw someone on the news last week where this guy, someone cut him off and he started shooting. She didn't even put on the window. He started shooting. It's like, man, people are crazy.
I cursed somebody out on the hill coming up here because they was dilly-dallying in front of me. I said, go! You ain't got somewhere to be? Yeah. Like, it's crazy. No, so the average thing is just, first of all, it's just not serious. It's just not what it is. It's a lot of criminalized poverty. It's a lot of criminalizing like family disputes. The amount of family disputes is family just arguing with each other, siblings fighting, mummies and her sons, all kind of normal things. Mm-hmm. They got them in court, or like petty thefts and stuff like that. But you don't get like truly like, no, that's not what it is.
Triple murder.
Those are 1 in a million cases, but that's all the media makes it out to be. But it's lots of ways Law and Order and those shows have set up the criminal system to give people this false idea. Like, think about how much in that show you'll see, especially in the early Law and Orders, like they'll show white people a lot as defendants. So you think that you have this balanced system. Do you know how little white people you actually see in the criminal court?
Very small.
I have represented, I checked the numbers the other day, I've represented over 777 people. If I've represented, I have not represented 50 white people. Like, I have not. And I know, and I know it. And I know it because all my white clients stand out of my mind because they're pains in the asses because they be so shocked that they end the criminals. They can't believe it. Yeah, they call you every...
Lock me up?
Every day. I used to have this one client, oh my God. They call me every day just going... So someone can just lie on me and I can get locked. Yes, it happened.
Welcome to my life.
Yes, I know that's crazy, right? You should talk to somebody about this. Like, it's nuts.
That's wild.
It's nuts. The cognitive dissonance on white people in the criminal system is so palpable because one time I ran into a white person I'd represented before and they like talked about my clients, like me being in court, like they were separate. I represented them. Mm-hmm. Them. Mm-hmm. They. And they talked about my clients like some criminal hooligan separate apart from them, like
nigga, I represented you.
Like I'm telling you, it's really crazy, but it just isn't what it isn't what it is. It just is. I think you think when. You know what it is? People have a lot of faith in the world, right? They think if something is truly outrageous, something is truly heinous, and we know about it, then obviously something would be done. Mm-hmm. So they think you're being hyperbolic. That's what they think. When you tell them the criminal system is racist, the criminal system is, built this way intentionally, they think it's something that you have to, like, parse out with a magnifying glass. Like, you need to just... They think it's something really insidious. But in reality, you go into court, it's plain as fucking day. It's plain as day. I mean, it's the clearest thing ever. I represented once, and I always think back to this because I remember feeling like I'm in the upside down, which is how I feel a lot.
Trying to change your things.
Yeah, listen. So I represent this black guy, and he had like a joint. Like they found him like one joint. This was before they legalized weed. But they found him like one joint, and the prosecution asked for like thousands of dollars of bail, right? $1,000 of bail for the one joint. Immediately represented a white guy found with a bunch of drugs. Clearly is a dealer. You know what I mean? A bunch of drugs, consented to release. Right after, like directly after, same judge, same prosecutor, and everybody and you know a system is fucked up when people do that in your face. Like they playing in your face, and you just, it's like,
is this real?
I'm there like, and that shit happens a lot. You know what I mean? It's a lot. It's a different ball game when you have a white client. I'm like, a different ball game entirely. So it just is playing. So for me, that's what it really boils down to. I'm like, this system is real fucked up, and I gotta tell you all about it every day. I can tell you, listen, I gotta make sure you see it somehow. I gotta figure out a different way to make you understand this shit is fucked up. It's fucked up, and it's just not all right.
The other things I see about too is like the prison situation.
Rikers.
Yeah, Rikers. Talk to me about that.
Listen, so first of all, I just always have to say this. People have this idea of Rikers because I think Rikers is infamous in a way, especially when like Lil Wayne went to Rikers and you mentioned them. People think Rikers is just like the prison for terrible people, this big, bad, infamous prison. Rikers is a pre-trial detention center.
Wow.
People in Rikers have not been convicted of a crime. They are there because they cannot afford bail or they have been remanded. And that is fucking insane. Because think about this. Think about the kinds of things I just told you they can arrest people for. They arrest poor people for, and then they send you to Rikers. Think about this place. Like, this terrible place. You know all kind of unspeakable shit happened. 16 people have died in Rikers in the last year.
Wow.
And, like, for bullshit. For bullshit. And it's like, this is my problem and why I feel the need to shine a magnifying glass in this. Even the way so much of how the system is set up is deliberate, right? There's a reason why prisons are built and put separate apart. They're put far away, so it's hard to get there. So you don't see it. So you don't see it. And so you don't see it. So you forget it. So you think that the people there are other. They are different. They are this is a sect of people this cannot happen to. And no, I need you to understand. No, it can happen to you. And if you are Black and you in New York, it is likely to happen to you. And that should fucking concern us, right? So for me, I got to talk about this, right? They have, like, Rikers has, like, $860 million is put towards their budget. Jesus. NYPD, they have 36,000 officers. They have an $11.3 billion budget. Billion. That's and insane. Another $860 million devoted to Rikers alone.
Yeah, that's insane.
To put in poor people in jail. To put in, like, you have to understand that. For people to be represented by a public defender, which the vast majority of everybody in the criminal system is, they have to be dirt poor, like no money, Listen, I am a proud broke bitch, and I would not qualify for my services. They would say I make way too much money, and I cannot afford a lawyer. Wow. I cannot afford a lawyer. I cannot afford my services. So understand how poor your clients have to be. And they take these people, think about it, the state is the one, they're aware that they're poor. They're the one that have just assigned you need a public defender because you're poor. And in the same breath that they say you are too poor to have a lawyer, we have to give you a thing. We say, we're going to set this bail on you at this price so you can't get out.
Of course you can't pay.
Exactly. And that's exactly all it is legitimized slavery. That's all it is legally sanctioned slavery.
My eyes didn't really open until Ava's thing, 13th Amendment. And I was like, oh my God, this is ridiculous.
Exactly. It's really fucked up.
This is ridiculous.
It's fucked up. It's really, really fucked up.
So I think one other thing so let's get to the other stuff. The ether beat. Fuck. How did you ever feel like it was conflict of interest to be like this big bad lawyer and still show your full personality on social media, or do your bosses like enable you, or they don't really know?
Yeah. Well, first they just leave me to my own devices. My job don't bother me. They just retweet and follow me. Like, I get a lot of support institutionally in that way. But as far as, honestly, I don't have the energy to lie. Like, I'm a very transparent person because I just quite frankly don't give a fuck what nobody else thinks. Like, in my mind, the way I see it is, and this is how come I'm like a compassionate person, I care about other people, is because I am the star of my fucking life. I'm the star player. I'm the star of this movie. It don't matter if I'm the intern, then this is a movie about the intern, right? Like, I'm the star. In the same way, I respect that other people are the star of their own shit too, and I give them the grace of people that are moving, like that. For that reasons, what I look like giving a fuck what the extras and stuff in my movie have to say about me. Like, you don't get to dictate my shit.
I am the main character.
Yeah, like, I'm the main character, and I've already come to terms with all my choices. Like, I've thought about this. When I'm an old lady, what I'm going to be comfortable with, what I like, what I value, where my value system is. And I'm very good with being, like, a full person, or being a transparent person. And also, I want to make it easier for Black women coming up after me. Like, I didn't think when a lot of law students and stuff started following me, at first I was like, I don't understand what the hype is. Like, I don't get it. And then I thought, and then my friends pointed out to me, like, well, you know any other lawyers like you? And then I was like, I guess I don't. And, not having that, coming up, like, the other kinds of lawyers, they all trying to, like, everybody trying to Olivia Pope you to death. You know what I mean? Like, there's only one way to be. And I realized that, like, that's not me. I can't do it. Like, I'm just unable. I'm an extroverted person. I'm real theatrical. I'm animated just by virtue, I guess. I already have the kind of body that people are naturally going to hypersexualize no matter what I do about it. And I just was like, you know what? Fuck all this. This shit is real stressful. I can't do it. Like I'm not capable. I tried. Like when I first went into my job at Legal Aid, my first day, like being a public defender, I was like, I want to be a wolf. I wanted to be an introvert so bad in this life. Y'all have no idea. Because people don't fuck with introverts. They ain't worry about you. When you are this person, people are on your business, and I hate to be perceived. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna be reserved and be all of this. One time, I hear my boy Royce, one of my coworkers, who's like, "Oh, I didn't know what room to go to, but I just followed the sound of Olayemi's voice in the hallway." I was like, "Damn, this is my reserved me." I was like, well, and I was like, I guess this is.
Fuck it.
I was like,
Fuck
I can't pull it off, so I might as well just be on my own shit, and that's just who I am. So I just kind of I just do my own thing. That's pretty much what it is. I'm like, yeah, I just cry. First of all, I like jokes. That's the Bahamian in me. I live for foolishness. I love jokes, and I just could crack joke. I could look for any opportunity to get my jokes off. That's all I would do. So,
I just want to know if you was be practicing, like, because you was do the facial expressions in the eyes. When you used to do these bars, you practice it or just come?
No, you know what's funny? My sister doing is say my sister doing works. She be in like PMH, and she always say people would come up and show her the videos, and she'd be like, "That's how that gal is talk. Like I don't know even the joke. Like she's like," and I'm like. I actually did not believe it or not, I didn't realize I was as animated as I am until like people started telling me, and like I seen them, I like having to see myself.
Oh, you talking?
But I realized now I finally see why people have always thought I never got it. Like I'm not extra to me, you know. In my mind, I am not OD at all. Like I don't. And then I realized when I saw like I thought I had control of like my facial expressions and stuff, and then I just saw like all the time on the news, and I like see myself in the news like wreck serious shit, and like I'm like, oh,
that's what they mean.
This, okay, this you are. So no, I said this.
You talking on the phone? Who are you talking?
That's literally just how I carry on, even on the news. Like I can't even help it. I be leaned into. I just don't. Drama. I guess I am the drama. Like I realized I was like my friend.
You did theater as a child, no?
No, and funny enough, I wanted to act one time. I told my parents like I wanted to be an actress, but my daddy is a Nigerian man, and my mommy very serious. You could be a doctor, a lawyer, something else, and I don't even know what someone else is. All my sisters are too mad. Like, I'm telling you, they don't play that.
I was asked, is the name of like is it meaning your name?
Affluence befits me. Affluence befits me. Right, yeah, my daddy thought it was popping in my mind. I'm like, affluence befits anybody. Like, money befits anybody. Nice shit befits. Do I have it? Why can you say affluence befits me and I can have it too? Because
as a middle name.
Right, yeah.
I should have it too.
And I can have it. Where's that? And I can have it. I got my broke bitch job. Like, I'm like, okay. So yeah, that's what it means.
And I also like to see the tears of your mom. Like,
listen.
You want to tell you was a Nassau? And...
I thought I taxed her. Like I told her, but I slipped my mind. I told her it was coming. I was texting her like I told her my plane took off and all of that. I forgot that I landed text. That's all. I forgot that I landed.
Yeah, we told minutes ago. Yo, my one good child. You couldn't even tell me you're Nassau.
Listen, I could do better. I'm gonna do better. I did my best, but I'm gonna do better.
And speaking of home, I think you was featuring a couple of panels for the last election.
Yes.
How often do you try to be? And you got like a lot going on in New York, and America, all this type of stuff. But how often do you try to be involved with down here with stuff that's going on, or is that not your ministry?
It's two things. So I make it a point to, if I'm asked to do things, for Bahamians, I always say, I'm not gonna be one of those Bahamians. Yeah. I refuse. I refuse to be. That is one of my greatest. I'm not gonna get catch slipping one of those babies that go abroad and start not claiming acting funny. That's why I only have one flag in my bio. I didn't even y'all didn't get me in trouble. Like, okay, so I always say So I always say but as far as discussing payment stuff, I'm very conscious of the fact that I have a loud voice. I'm loud just as a person, right? And on top of that, I already have a platform. And there are Bahamians that are far more informed than me and that are like, do this. Bahamians that are into Bahamian politics and know what's happening, they are informed, they educate in ways that I'm not qualified. So I shut my fucking mouth. You know what I mean? I will retweet, like when Chris and, whoever talking, I see it, I will retweet. Denzel talking, I will retweet their things and I'll boost it. But I don't want to take up that space in the room because I shouldn't. I'm not qualified to do it. And I will automatically, just by virtue of already having a platform, be given a credence that I don't deserve because I'm not the most qualified voice there. So I boost. But when they ask me to participate, I always say I always say yes. I'm like, yes, I can show up because I ain't got act brand new. My Grammy rolling a grave. Like,
And one thing I was just trying to remember is one thing you have a strong view on, like how you've been there your whole life and so much issues for you become permanent, or like talk to me about how difficult that has been, or is it getting better, or is it still a pain in the ass?
That's a pain in the ass. That's an eternal pain in the ass. Let me tell you something. I wish I could see how much years of my life it's shaving off. I always said it like, I can't waste, when I'm an old lady, there's a factor all the time that was wasted just letting the U.S. immigration stress me the fuck out. Yeah, no, I have a work visa. And listen, in many ways, I'm very blessed to even have that much. We all know how hard it even is. It's just very hard. It's a constant battle. You know, I trust that something will work out. That you're gonna figure out more. No. No, lots of men wanted to marry me.
I just want to see your reaction.
Lots of men wanted to marry me. Would like to marry me. I just listen, I recognize that more than likely when I get citizenship, it'll probably be because I got married, but not. I refuse to get married for citizenship. Yeah,
of course.
Like I just can't. And like on principle, I feel like America has been able to dictate and control my life in so many ways. I refuse to give it that. Like as we've seen, I'm somebody I really like to be in command of my personal narrative. Like my choices are my choices. What I want to do, I want to own those things. I ain't doing shit like that or whatever, because I just don't like the concept of explaining no shit. I'm not really fucking with like the idea, like when people are like, oh, you just get married and this and you marry your friend, do that. I'm like, I literally don't like to explain shit like that. The idea I meet a man and I gotta say, oh, I in this situation and blah 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 and this thing happened. I don't like the idea of it on my personal resume. I got a lot of blemishes and shit on my personal resume, but at least I put that shit there. At least it's on, you know, I own that choice in some way. But I'm not gonna do it. Like I can't, and also I just don't want to. The concept of a man in my house all day, every day. Right now, like
the life don't allow for it.
Sometimes sometimes Raheem, and sometimes I sit in the hallway for 15 minutes on the stairs before I go in the apartment because I ain't ready to hear Raheem scream at me. I just be like, oh, as soon as I get in the door, I be like, please, Raheem, please, let me get situated, please. Imagine like.
So you ever ready for a man like a child? Not
full time in my house, right? You say a child? Me, teenage pregnant? I am not qualified. I can put the baby. I can put the crib next to bring him to the box. Child? Oh my God. Oh Jesus. Like, child, please. Some of my plants, I don't know what happened to them right now. Oh my God. Oh my God. And the concept of having oh my God. I having a baby for some man I'm done dealing with is the sickest shit. Talk about some sick shit. Like, listen, you know how when people have a pet with a significant other and then they break up and then they delude themselves into believing that they're going to share ownership. But after a while, it stops because you know it's fucking abnormal to be broken up with this person. Like you and this person are broken the fuck up, but you going over there trying to see the pet. It's like, animal. It ain't no less crazy with these motherfucking children. Shut the fuck up. Listen to me. There ain't a man I ain't with that I would see it. Oh, the concept of still dealing with a man from season 3 of my life is crazy, you know, because my life is a show.
I with you.
Listen, that's nuts. That's fucking nuts. And I gotta deal with him because this whole fucking offspring in this house looking like him, acting like him, talking about him, reminding me about it. Oh, fuck. Oh, no. I'd rather dead. I can't do it. That's the crazy. Listen to me. I think about that all the time. Like, whoo. I be looking at people who like, whoo. You build strong. Like, you build strong.
You don't get that.
Listen, my parents married, and the amount of times my mommy didn't look at me like she's sick of my ass because I was my daddy child. like a harumph. No, ain't no way. Listen, I give you that baby. Listen, you would, because if I had your baby for you, wanted that. Come. You ain't want me. No, that's fine. You don't have to be with me because life moves on. I can get an axe to it. That's for sure. Hell, you wanted this baby? You wanted this baby. This your baby. Take your baby.
Come with your buddy.
Yes, come take your baby.
Come with your buddy.
Listen, what? Listen, nope. Come on, Mike. Who put that there? That's another. Listen, you want to talk about it? You want to talk about those crazy pregnancy is for true? Listen, okay. First of all, the whole concept. I remember when I first decided pregnancy was the sickest shit I ever thought about it. I was watching Juno. It was picture it is 2008. I'm watching Juno, and Juno's going to the abortion clinic to go have an abortion, and the little Asian girl with the sign outside of the abortion clinic be like your baby has fingernails, and Juno goes home, and for whatever reason, that information. She was like, wow, my baby has fingernails. Like, I can't do it. And I was like, oh my fucking God, that alien inside you is fucking fingering it. Like, oh, that's scary. Yo, like, have you ever thought about it? This is your body. Like so much scary shit that we're just told to accept as normal. And let me tell you, because man, think about how crazy it would be. Think about how crazy it would seem to you if you all of your life just been your body. It's just you, just your one body. You laying down. Because you decided to fuck one gal one time.
Just
some
punch
you,
in
some
someone.
kick you, some move inside you, some that fingernail scratch. Like, you realize babies have one goal, and it's to get the fuck out of you no matter what. Mm-hmm. No matter what, they'll kill you to do it. They will kill you to do it.
Like alien brother.
Somebody come inside you, and now something is growing inside you with no other goal than to tear its way the fuck out and cost you money forever. The devil is alive. I'm sorry, that's a very serious choice. So I say all that to say I'm not qualified to be anybody's mother right now. Raheem is about just enough. You see, you still got a neuroses. I can't be having no baby.
I understand.
Thank you. We got it.
So what else can we expect from you to say other than like the normal shit you do? Like, is there anything special products you want to come out? Like, because clearly, like I said, the last year you've amassed is quite following for serious stuff and for jokes. So that's why I told you should do a podcast. I feel like you have the eyes on you, and you have the right content you want to talk about.
I'm sure it's coming. I have let's see, what can I talk about? I have more op-eds and things that are gonna come out. I have a million different like interviews and appearances and stuff coming up. The minute I get back to New York,
they waiting for you.
Listen, and nobody respects my vacation. Nobody. Every day, I see you're on vacation, but
I can do a little thing.
Exactly.
You cancel my name. No, I home.
I like, you only. Give me this. Just give me this, please. Like, can I have this? So I have that. In the midst of a protest that we are planning, the Black Attorneys of the Legal Aid Society with Color of Change. That'll be at the end of Black History Month at Rikers. It's my brainchild. So we're doing that. Let me see what else I could talk about.
Tanks.
Yeah, I have booked and busy. You see it, but it's just not as cute as you think it is.
Link in the bio.
Listen, yes, Miss Olurin on everything. But yeah, I have a lot of stuff coming up. Like I'm what I'm really excited about is for my website. when that's done,
you have a website?
I have a website coming. I have someone working on a website so I can put all this stuff in one place.
I intern cameraman to follow you around. I really think like what you're doing, like just not even the jokey shit, like the actual stuff that you focus on.
Yeah.
Like I think someone should tell your story of what you.
I should figure something out like that.
Find an intern,
yeah.
Someone who can't follow you around the camera. I think like shit like the protests and stuff like that got some stuff, and not for like bragging purposes. It's just, this shit need to be documented.
Yeah, and show it. No, you're absolutely correct. And honestly, that is. I'm trying to get on the ball with all of that. That's why I was like, let me get the website. Let me do this. I am thinking on the podcast, and like I'm thinking about it all. Like I'd said back. I told myself. I think when I first, I was like, oh, if I get to 20,000 followers, if I get to 30,000 followers, I'll start a podcast. And then I got to them, I'm like, damn, that happened fast enough. I need a little bit more time. I just keep pushing the number down. I'm like, I'm like, okay, let me be ready. But I do think
that's the line. You'll never be ready.
Yeah.
It's just one day you go wake up and be like, fuck, I don't do this.
Yeah, you're probably right, because honestly, I do think I want to have my own, like, way I could say what I want to say. I think that's the thing I love about, like, Twitter and stuff. I want to say something I can make. Yeah. I can either tweet, I can make a video of it, gotta be longer, I can say what I have to say, so I think so. I think it's coming. I need to figure out how I blend, like,
how you put it together.
My love of seriousness and my love of foolishness. Like, I've kind of figured that out with Twitter. Like, I give it all. I give the array of things or whatever. I think I've figured out how to be my full person. I'm gonna figure out how that works content wise into like what would a show or a podcast
it don't even have to be as like pretty as a studio. It can literally just be you do daily videos. It could just it don't have to be so polished. It doesn't have to be polished. It just make sure it's content, especially during the pandemic where people could do like TikTok has made everybody a content creator.
That's true.
Good and bad ways, but. It don't have to be polished. Just get the shit out there. Get it out here because clearly you got a whole movie set in there happening this season.
Oh, the movie that's my life.
So just get it out of there.
Yes, I can do that. You wanted something to me. You wanted something. I can do that.
So thank you so much. I know you're on vacation, but I'm happy to be graced with your presence. So I hope yours got what you need to know about y'all's favorite Twitter/IG personality.
Listen, I hope I don't look like a hot mess. I hope I don't look like a deranged person.
You good. Okay. So this has been Who Dat 242, my first episode of the year. And thank you so much for letting me in, and just let people know where you want them to go follow you. What do you want to know?
You can follow me at Miss Olurin on everything. That's MSOLURIN. That's my handle everywhere, Miss Olurin.
Be the glory.
This has been Who Dat?
Who that? What? Who that? Who that? What? Who that? Wait. Who that? What? Who that? Who that?